It is such a joy to be with you on this Saturday. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome the faculty and the guests, Senator Klobuchar, Regent Tao Arabe, Vice Provost Lanyon, our student speaker Ruby, and thank you, Dean Bochwe, for the invitation. And a special congratulations to all of you graduates who will be walking this stage today to receive your advanced degree. This is a moment to sit, to savor, and acknowledge the tremendous accomplishment. You deserve every bit of it. It is an opportunity to thank those who supported you to getting to this point, as I have no doubt you achieving this goal is a great source of pride and inspiration for them. In the short time I have with you, I want to talk a bit about my walk of leadership and some of what I've learned along the way. In fact, my leadership journey was shaped by my own graduation story. When I was in my mid-20s, I was divorcing and had young children. My entire world and theirs was being redefined. I was in an identity crisis at a low point. I could barely figure out my next day without encountering numerous barriers that seemed insurmountable. Yet in the midst of this life storm, I made the decision to return to school to complete my degree. Working all day, attending evening classes, then going home to read, to write, to edit. I'm sure you know that drill. It was a period in my life of sheer grit and determination. It was a time that revealed to me more of myself. I negotiated with professors and security officers to allow me to bring my children to class when my daycare fell through. I was praying and guiding and demanding for them to just eat your Cheerios, play with these Legos in the back of the classroom, and please do not disturb mommy. I had countless of all-nighters to complete papers while sometimes calming a sick child. I sat next to my peers in classes with the same deadlines and the same expectation, while underneath the surface, my life was falling apart. I was couch hopping, I was negotiating on what I could pay, I was in a free fall. In short, getting through each class and sometimes each day felt like an heroic act. I was trying to figure out what the future would hold for me, and it was unfolding in front of me in like ways that I could never imagine. But for me, getting my degree was a pathway to better. My journey, not unlike yours, includes the reality underneath the obvious when we show up in the room. While our lived experiences may be different, we have all encountered times in our lives when the road ahead seems uncertain. We have all had to navigate systems and places that were necessary for us to get ahead, overcoming barriers that seem to have no other role but to keep us in our place. As you move forward from this day, I invite you to intentionally hold the understanding that all walks don't look the same to get to the same place. The hurdles look different. What is in front of you most often is not the full story. What I have learned is that leadership is uncovering what's underneath. It is listening to the spoken and the unspoken language. It is creating the conditions for others to be successful. The experiences that we have, both powerful and less so, are useful in shaping our understanding. It sharpens our leadership. As we make decisions that impact the lives of others, it is crucial to think differently about how power is utilized and how it is leveraged. It's important to know that the problems and the solutions demand us to see them differently. And even in our differences, we can find the relatable. In matter of fact, this is where the magic often happens. I invite you to live fully into the path that's uniquely yours. The good, the difficult, and the triumphant. See, they work in harmony when embraced as such. They can be the foundation that inspires you to new heights. It can be the foundation for you to see the potential in others, therefore seeing more potential in yourself. We are here today, and I have exercised and had the privilege to be in many rooms with my leadership. Thanks to the told and untold stories of those that came before us. Ordinary people who did extraordinary things. People paving the way that enabled us to travel our lives with more options. Everyday people that were willing to take risk on the behalf of our collective progress. In my over 25-year plus career, my most impactful work was inspired by others. Ideas often surfaced at random moments, in conversations, and me listening to what was happening in others' lives that catalyzed visions that I would have never dreamt on my own. Like the vision of opening a health and wellness grocery store in North Minneapolis called North Market, or hosting a podcast called Chanda, Conversations with Chanda, and I failed speech class, by the way, when I was in school, that allow me to have conversations that we all have inside of our own communities of comfort. You are graduating from a powerful institution. The Humphrey School of Public Affairs holds weight and holds so much possibility for our future. It is an accomplishment you should be extremely proud of. It will assist you in the opportunity to influence others in ways they may never know. Every day in our city, in our community, there are people juggling challenges in insurmountable ways. There are long-standing systems barriers that have maintained a stronghold on our individual and collective progress. When I think about the brilliance that is in this auditorium, it brings me hope. When I imagine the offices you will run for, the policies you will influence, and the leadership roles you will hold, I get excited about the progress that will be made. Just like those that came before us that made this day possible, you are and we are those that will knock down walls, break glass ceilings, and chart new paths for generations that we may never meet. Our difference making in some cases will be visible, but most often it comes by everyday decisions and regular acts of courage. What I have learned is that leadership is to be experienced in relationship with others. What I've learned in my leadership is that every issue we are working to solve to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to pursue their dreams, policy undergirds. What I know is policy is more than words on paper, it's more than votes, and it's more than likes on social media posts. It is dynamic. And leadership is an experience that if you stay in relationship with it, it will unfold in ways that will surprise you, as it is also dynamic. There are many lessons I could share. However, today I want to underscore the point that leadership is unique to you. It manifests at the speed in which you trust yourself. It is the culmination of all the struggles and all the graduations that we gain along this thing called life. As you send off to your next chapter, I want to express that your degrees embody so much. It represents your leadership, your resolve, your commitment, and your value of learning. When people see my degree, when people see my diploma, they see my degree. But what it represents to me is the grit it took to accomplish it. It represents the moments I wanted to quit, but I got up the next day and put one foot in front of the other. It represents all the people that supported me, including the security officer and the professors that allowed me to bring my kids to class. It represents the policy and the progress that my ancestors fought for that provided me the opportunity to even sit in those classrooms. It is your own graduation story and the community that you will always be connected to that represents a promise to the values you hold. Every year unfolds beautiful surprises and unimagined opportunities if you remain open to the possibilities. One of my favorite quotes from Gandhi states simply, "My life is my message." It is everyday actions, how you treat and consider others, and your acts of courage that will build your legacy. As you move forward, remember you are part of a community of leaders and change makers. Remember that every time you act on a policy or leadership decision, there are people connected to it. You have the power to make positive impact in the world, and it is a gift. Use it wisely. Never become so powerful that you forget to learn or take a minute to sit with someone that has traveled down a different road. I invite you to find joy and gratitude in every day, especially those days that are hard. And in closing, I want to congratulate each and every one of you on this accomplishment. You have all worked hard to get to where you are today, and I have no doubt that you will continue to go on and do amazing things in this world. Remember to hold the power you have gained in the moments that you felt powerless and balanced. Remember the people behind the policy and the responsibility you have to create a better world. Together we can create a more just and more equitable world for all. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you for letting me spend some time with you today.